We do have a quorum. As you can see, I am here tonight. Kim was not able to make it. So I think Pledge of Allegiance is the first thing on our agenda. Matthew, can you start that for us?
Honored. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any visitors or delegations? No. Okay, this is the portion of the agenda where agenda items and other subjects of concern that lie within the jurisdiction of the Board of Education can be discussed. This is the portion of the agenda where the board welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comment. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to Groton. Board members will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and cannot respond during the comments of citizens portion of the board meeting. Citizens should make their presentation and state their names and addresses for the record. Is there anyone signed up? Would anyone?
Not through me. Not through me, Kat.
Okay.
Not through me.
And I don't see anyone in chat that wants to speak. All right, is there, do we have a student rep here tonight? Isaiah? Yes, I see Isaiah. What have you got to tell us tonight, Isaiah?
I only have two things to talk about. The first is last Friday, our Student Advisory Athletic Committee had a CIAC seminar or webinar with Mr. Romano. And I'd say it was pretty successful. I think for me personally, one of the biggest takeaways I had was to focus on goal setting as a student athlete. And the other thing that I'd like to report on is our girls basketball team, which last week clinched a spot in the state playoffs.
When was the last time that happened?
I'm pretty sure it's been a while.
Yeah. So congratulations to the Lady Falcons. Whoa, that's pretty awesome.
Where's the first game going to be played? Isaiah, where's the first playoff game going to be played?
They're not sure yet because it's so early in the season, but they just know they have a spot in playoffs right now.
Keep us in the loop.
Of course.
Give them our congratulations, please.
I will.
Thank you, Isaiah. And I'm going to pass it off
Can
to.
I ask Isaiah one question? How do you feel about not having midterms and being able to have other assessments within the context, but also to have a little more instructional time? What are your thoughts on that as a student leader?
I think I speak for the majority of the student body when I say that it definitely takes a lot of stress and anxiety off of our shoulders.
Good, good. I think that was the main goal, and to give you guys some more instructional time, and our teachers have some jobs to do around how they can make assessment even more valuable for you kids and for them. So I'm glad about that.
All right, Susan, I'll hand it over to you for the superintendent report.
All right. So as you know, we've had a couple really good news information that's come out in the press. Just last Friday, we heard that President Biden signed the bill that Congressman Courtney put out there, bipartisan, second year in a row, which keeps our numbers intact for impact aid. That was really essential. It came from some of our people like Jen DeBell in the business office when she was really struggling to get those forms signed on during COVID. And I think also in Ledyard, they were experiencing the same thing. So this allows us to use the numbers that we had prior to COVID. And those numbers have been healthy numbers. We see that in the future, they'll continue to be healthy, especially with Columbia class being built at EB and, you know, being docked at the Navy sub base. So we really look forward to that. And using Balfour Beatty as the lead residence for our Navy families coming through. That will also add to our impact aid. So as I said to John Burt when we met today, we've always put out in our budget that about 3.3 million comes into the town for education, but it's actually been over 4 million each year. And that extra million goes into the town coffers. So we really want to say that a real big chunk of what the town has as revenue comes in from impact aid, and we want to recognize that. So we are recognizing it in our budget, and having Congressman Courtney and Secretary Cardona at our Thames River Magnet, which is the Blue Ribbon Magnet, was just so exciting, and to travel with them to Grosso Tech, where we have a partnership. And we're going to be developing partnerships in all kinds of ways. But for our students at Fitch to be able to take credit in the trades, in addition to their work at Fitch, but it also can be part of their total coursework for graduation. Very excited about those two pieces of information. In addition, you see that I kind of wanted to look back at our calendar for this year because our 180th day is the 17th of June. Would love that to be a graduation date. It's kind of been historically the past few years about what we've had as a date, but we're going to have to wait and see how the weather prevails, because as far as I can see right now, the state of Connecticut isn't giving any leeway the way they had last year. So we'll have to see how snow days prevail, and then set an agenda for a graduation date. The law reads a little differently than it's read before. So it doesn't give us the liberty to just make a date and stick to it. So we really have to make sure we have those 180 days. If any board members have any questions, they can certainly call me to chat about this. And then next year, I think the story is pretty clear. We want to stick with the Learn regional calendar. We really want to kind of coincide with that for professional development reasons, for our children here in our district whose parents might be teaching in other districts, and vice versa for our teachers who have children in other districts. We really, the whole purpose and premise of a regional calendar was to be able to network and provide professional learning across the southeastern Connecticut region, to start school, end school kind of around the same time. And because of our building projects, we haven't really been able to do that as well. And so this year, it's my hope for FY23 we'll be able to do that. We'll be voting on that. So that's it for me. Moving on to the assistant superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? On behalf of the superintendent, Rebecca Baez, and I are going to walk you through this presentation concerning our Facebook page creation and management plan. Since the summer, we've been discussing extending our communication to our families via social media. Throughout the pandemic, communication has been so key, so important. We feared as we return to school that there might be some email and phone message fatigue, and many families would simply start ignoring important messages due to the sheer number that we had to make. Exploring social media is another way not only to communicate, but to engage with our families. We've heard the Board of Ed's concern about it and believe that we have an approach that will work well and still allow for engagement, which ultimately means a successful strategy and a successful. Again, as you can see on this slide here, the benefits of using Facebook range from sharing information, engaging with the community through comments, replies, and messages, to studying the Facebook analytics to figure out even more ways to improve our page and our communication. Tonight, we simply want to go through how we would set up the page, the different roles and responsibilities of creating and maintaining the page, and also how to measure its effectiveness. So we do look forward to our discussion, and we'll save our questions until the end and hopefully have a nice discussion about it. At this point, I'm going to pass it off to Rebecca to begin the presentation on the settings and roles and responsibilities. Thanks, Rebecca.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. For those of you who I have not been able to meet yet or say hello to in person, I'm Rebecca Bayes. I've been with the district for a number of years, and I am also a community member and a parent here in the district. So as Dr. Piazza said, going into settings, roles, and responsibilities, which I know is one of the questions that came up when we met in November. Taking just a quick step back, I know there's several of you who are quite active on Facebook and social media, and there may also be some of you who aren't. So we wanted to just clarify when we're talking about Facebook, there's personal pages. So there's, Rebecca's personal page or Kat's personal page on Facebook, which is really referred to as a profile. And that's where you share all your personal information. And then there's pages, and pages are really those locations on Facebook that are for businesses, organizations, brands, nonprofits, or maybe public figures, things like that. So just in terms of keeping our language, when we're referring to a page, we're really referring to that organizational identity on social media. There are a tremendous amount of settings when you go in to create a Facebook page. There are a tremendous amount of settings and control that you have over the page. Initially, your page is unpublished as you create the page, and then once you do publish it, it becomes public. But again, you have dozens of settings that you can adjust to control who sees your page, who accesses your page, and what they can do on your page. And that goes very deep. So you can also control whether visitors can post or comment on a page. And again, I just want to clarify that when we're talking about a post on a page, a post is the initial conversation starter. It's the initial topic starter on the page. And then a comment is always in response to a post. So I just want to be clear when we're talking about what people can do on a page, the difference between the post being that very initial conversation topic starter on a page, and then the comments, which can only fall below that. So we did talk about roles internally and who would be the leads on the page in terms of having that administrative control over the page, having access to all of those settings, moderating content on the page, and also being able to post. So the primary really would be Dr. Piazza and myself. And then we also talked about Clint Kennedy, our tech director, or one of our IT systems administrators, also having access to the page more from a functional standpoint. If we ever had a third person who we really needed to go in and adjust something or manipulate something, or we had an issue. And then we would identify some additional staff, perhaps some of our executive secretaries who would also assist in moderating the page and other tasks, such as posting a post as might be needed. And then we go into page engagement, which goes back to the comments and the interactions on the page. So folks who like your page are called a follower. And there are essentially 3 different options folks have to interact with your page. They can like or react. And when they can react, they can use one of these emojis pictured here. So happy, caring, laughing, shocked, crying, or mad. They can comment or they can share. So you can choose or limit who can comment on a page. I know this came up a lot in our last conversation. You can do that on a post by post basis. You cannot turn off commenting as a universal page setting on Facebook. It's something you go in and you do and disable again on a post by post basis. You can disable sharing. So for example, if I didn't want to allow somebody to share it to their personal profile, you cannot disable the likes or those emoji reactions. And then, so again, the commenting really came up quite a bit in our last conversation. And we've really taken a very deep dive into this and talked about it at length. So engagement is very important to having a successful social media presence and a successful Facebook page and a successful social media strategy. Social media, just very organically, is intended for networking and engagement. That's the foundation of what it is. And Facebook in particular really favors user-to-user content, which means they're favoring pages and profiles that have a lot of interaction between the users, the followers, the folks. So as I said, a really successful strategy ultimately is going to come down to how well you interact with your followers and how well you allow those likes and shares and comments. Essentially, you may have heard in the past about Facebook algorithms. Once Facebook sees that your page is seeing a lot of interaction, it increases how much it's going to show your page to followers or other folks who might find your content relevant. The more prominent your page positioning will be among your followers. And this little box is really a great sort of real world example of that. It likens it to when you go out to dinner and you're making a decision about where you might want to go. And for example, if you've gone to a restaurant that you like a lot and you've always had good experiences, you might be more inclined to go there versus try something new. And that's kind of the way Facebook works. If it sees that you're liking and doing something a lot, it's going to keep showing you that versus showing you something new that it's not so sure you are going to like. And I think Phil's going to pick it up here.
Yep. So then we get back to the question, to comment or not to comment. That was our
that was our question.
That was our question. So we initially talked about just pushing out information and disabling the comments. And then we also figured that would really defeat the whole purpose of what we want this to do. I mentioned it before, we want to build trust with the community, we want to build transparency, but this, we also want to establish a dialogue with our school community. We want to inform them, we want to create awareness of the things that are going on in our schools and in the district. We want to take the opportunity to dispel myths or misconceptions. If we see people making comments or they're confused or they're being misled in any way, we'd be able to clarify things. And we'd be able to direct the community to different information, correct information and resources. We've put together a couple of examples of districts and how they've responded to give you an example of how to avoid mistakes and really use this in a positive way. This is an example from Madison Public Schools. As you could see, they used it to post positions, which of course we would, especially during these times, we're looking for substitutes and different workers throughout the district. You see the comment that was made on the screen by someone who is interested. The comment was, is being vaccinated a condition of employment, or do you just have to wear a mask? This example provides information on who to contact for answers without engaging in an online conversation, without, especially with a topic like being vaccinated or wearing a mask. You don't want to get into a back and forth. It simply provides information to please contact the HR department with specific questions. And again, this would be done by one of the three admins, myself, Rebecca, or Clint Kennedy, whoever we designate as those admins. Another example on the next slide shows how responding could be looked at as an opportunity. This is from Norwich Free Academy, and it shows how the school problem solved based on the comments of community members. In this particular case, you don't have to read the article there. It's basically parents were critical on social media around a school safety issue when they had a lockdown at the school, and they had a problem with, they were very critical of how the school communicated what happened. And somebody saw that on social media platform, and the district saw the comments and created a time and a place for a community forum to happen for open and constructive dialogue. Parents in the district were able to come to favorable conclusions on how communication can be improved. And you can see from the quote on the page, that parents really appreciated them responding to their concerns about how things were communicated. So Facebook would definitely provide an opportunity for our own continued improvement. So even when comments might be negative, they can turn into long-term positives.
So I did mention earlier those controls and setting, and we can turn off commenting on posts as we would deem appropriate. And some examples of that might be, this says busy delays, it should be bus delays, which might be because of busy roads. Bus delays or other weather-related closures where we're really not going to be having somebody monitor and respond to those sorts of things. So we can direct people in other ways where they can go for additional information. So just some straight push notifications off the bat would definitely be some topics where we would want to just turn off commenting, simply because we're not going to monitor or respond to some of those types of things. Again, going back to those settings and controls, we can delete comments if there are comments that violate page rules, and page rules would be shared and positioned very upfront and prominently on the page when people decide to follow our page. So some acceptable reasons to delete a comment that don't violate any sort of First Amendment issues would be comments that are off topic from the original post or considered spam, comments that violate privacy or include any sort of identifiable information, comments that, again, are maybe sales or spam oriented or personally benefit the person who's making the comment, political comments, anything that's offensive or profane. But we also have profanity filters in place, and we can include very specific words to help ensure that that doesn't even happen. Anything that became aggressive or bullying, or anything that violates our policies. Now, we've looked at a lot of other school Facebook pages, and I can tell you we haven't seen any of this being an issue on those pages, but want to make you aware again of all of the control that we do have to avoid these sorts of things. And then if you did have somebody who is repeatedly spamming your page, and spam can be, they're using it as an opportunity to sell a product or direct people to another page or shop or something like that, you can block that person. And Facebook actually recommends that if it became a problem with somebody who is repeatedly violating your page rules and your policies. And if you block somebody, they no longer have any access to your page, and they can't even find your page any longer on Facebook. It would not appear in their search. So then we go into planning, creating, and curating content. We basically have two buckets of content we would have. One would be sort of planned content throughout the month that we would look to sort of create in advance. And then others would be sort of timely, trending, or breaking news content that I sort of always refer to as pop-up content. Our schools would not have direct access to posting content on the page because that could start to create a very busy, cluttered page, but we would make sure that we give our schools equal, balanced time on the page to showcase what's happening in their communities as well. A good strategy is to post about 1 or 2 times a day, to test out different times of day, scheduling the content to see when folks maybe are most responsive to your comment. You sort of balance out your content calendar with some different topics of sort of some educational and fun content, some shared or curated content. It's actually a great strategy to be sharing things from other pages and resources, such as maybe Groton Parks and Rec or Groton Social Services, and you have a nice supportive relationship there. And then visual content really is king, photos and videos, or even down the road, maybe some Facebook Live content. Facebook, again, those algorithms definitely prioritizes content that's very visual in nature, because that's just how people are used to receiving a lot of information now, primarily because of social media, and how they best respond and consume it. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry. This next slide just really expands on what Rebecca was talking about with our content. You could see the many different ways we can use it. To the right-hand side, you see the posts about teaching and learning that we can highlight from our schools, achievement and recognition, and that could be academic, that could be athletic as well. The calendar reminders, Board of Ed information, district updates, all different sorts of buckets of information that we can get out to the public, and again, increase our transparency and increase hopefully our engagement, not only with our page, but with what's going on in our school community. Our publishing guidelines, again, everything would follow the appropriate use of technology. District policy, we pulled bits of it out for you to look at in terms of parent permission regarding the posting of student images. That would be checked, before anything was posted. We wouldn't include, most of this involves identifying children by name, which we wouldn't do. If we were publishing student work, we wouldn't use their full names, only first names. Pictures that are part of student publishing will not include any kind of identifying information. We'll take all sorts of precautions, to protect our kids. And in special circumstances with parent signed release, identifying information could be added. The next slide shows you what we use currently for our video and photography release. This would now include social media as well. And basically it works as an opt-out if this would be provided to parents, and if they did not want their child to be part of any photos or anything that's posted, they would simply check the box and it would go on record. And these are the records that we would check before posting any pictures of any children.
And I know that our principals are very much aware of this, and Mark Russell, when he goes into a school and he does his picture taking, he checks with both classroom teacher and principal. Even when we did the holiday, hello, we went through those pictures, and we really tried to capture pictures where you got the essence, but you didn't just zoom in on one child. So we've tried to get the group shots and, sometimes not full facial. So Mark is very much aware of that when he does his photography and his video.
Then the last and really important part of social media is metrics and different insights and analytics against your strategy and your engagement. Again, engagement is everything that you can do as a user on a page's post. And that includes those reactions, links, clicks, shares, and comments. And a lot of that you can track on the back end, right within Facebook on the admin side. And why that's important is it really tells you how your page is doing. It tells you how, if your content is connecting and resonating with your audience, and can help inform what you do in the future on your page. A lot of it is very numbers based, but I've always found when I'm looking at social metrics and engagement that there's also a very human side to it. And beyond looking at the numbers, there's usually a story there in terms of what topics are really connecting with people. And you dive into the numbers a bit more to really figure that out and see what people are most tuned into and what they like the most. And then that can just help you continue to build your page and make it successful. And it is really a very important step to do, typically on a monthly basis, and maybe take an even deeper dive on a quarterly basis to look at your page and make shifts and adjustments as you might need.
So we really, we that's our presentation, and I want to just say, if you are social media savvy, we appreciate your patience, but we really just wanted everyone here to understand, the very basics of what Facebook is, and really from a behind the scenes standpoint, how we would run the page and how we would make sure we protect our students and the district, and also use it in a positive way. And then how, and again, how we would, Rebecca covered on that very last slide, how we would use the information to really improve ourselves over the long haul. So we will definitely feel free to open up to questions, and we'll try to answer them as best we can. Thank you. Thanks, Rebecca.
All right, I don't see any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank
Well
you.
done. Well
Thank you
done.
very
It was a
much,
lot of
everyone.
homework and research. Thank you.
And I'm sure if anyone does think of something, they
Yep.
can send it
Yeah.
to Susan and she can pass it on to whoever she deems
Absolutely. Be happy
Absolutely.
to.
necessary. Okay, is Sam around? There he
Sam is in the audience, I see.
Your turn.
And
Yeah.
Sam, we have Director of Building and Grounds report, and specifically around facilities. I see the solar panel, but we'll also be talking about inheriting our new buildings officially, and then updating on any transportation.
Right, so the first item of the solar panels that we're thinking about doing, the projects that we're considering doing at the two new schools, the Groton Middle School and the Mystic River School. The Thames River Magnet School is in the Groton Utilities District, and that is a little more complicated. And so our next step is actually to go to the Finance and Facilities Committee, present it there, and then we'll move forward to the full board after that. So I see Rick Norris is also here, and I don't know if he wants to add anything to that short comment regarding solar panels.
That's, oops.
Hi, Rick.
Yeah, folks. Yeah, Sam, just a quick one. What the goal here is to get to a point where the Board of Ed is comfortable with signing a power purchase agreement. Our previous discussions were that you didn't really want to own the panels. Well, the first couple of schools were working with the Green Bank, who has sent out their RFP. They've got bidders in. They're getting ready to do some design work, but the board has to be happy with the power costs. So that's really the goal of going to that facilities and finance meeting to start with, and then see where we're directed from there. So there has been a draft put together. There have been some costs put together. Sam has all that information. So we'll be discussing it a little bit further before we get to that meeting. And I've given the contact for the Green Bank folks, and he can be talking with them separately if he so desires. So I'm pretty happy that we're able to start moving forward with that. It was a year delay because of this what they call a ZREC auction, which is a zero renewable energy credit auction that is handled by Eversource. So we changed the projects a little bit, and they were able to approve them the second time around. So I'm really looking forward to getting something done there for you folks.
So Sam, is that something you'll talk to Jay about, maybe even getting in the beginning of February?
Yeah, I spoke to Joyce about it today, and we're
Okay.
going to get on that agenda in February.
Good.
Can't
Awesome.
remember whether it's the 7th or the 15th or something like that. Okay, and the second item is transportation. I'm sure that everybody knows that STA has continued to work hard to meet our needs here in Groton. They since our last report, they borrowed drivers from other towns and have really made great strides regarding covering our routes. Haven't been very many double ups in the last few weeks that I've seen. So
I'm knocking on wood.
yeah, I would too. So So that's good news. And the other piece of good news is that Tony Murgo, who is the manager of STA, has ordered new cameras. These are new cameras. They give us a better picture, more defined pictures, and better sound than the old cameras that we had. We were having some troubles actually doing some contact tracing or seeing some events that may have taken place on the buses. So Tony has ordered cameras for all the buses. They're scheduled to ship out on January 27th, and they're committed to getting those in the buses. As soon as they arrive, they'll start putting those in. And so that will be up and running, hopefully the beginning of February with new cameras. And that would be my report for tonight, unless there are any questions that anybody has.
Thank you,
All right.
Sam.
I'm sorry.
I just said, thank you, Sam.
Yes, thank you, Sam. I don't see any questions, so we will be moving on to committee reports. But I would just like to remind everyone it is 6:35 and the budget workshop is scheduled or was posted to begin at 6:45. Mrs. Ackerman, is there a report from policy?
We're meeting on the 7th of February.
Thank you. Mrs. Ackerman again. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Liz.
No.
Is there,
Oh, no?
No, not Mrs. Ackerman, me. And yes, I have to apologize. I was so swamped, I kind of forgot this part. I do want to, Dr. Piazza was there with us, with Mrs. Ackerman, as well as yourself. And I dropped the ball here. So if any of you want, and I own it because
Phil looks ready to go, Liz. No
Liz,
worries.
we discussed the American Sign Language updates to the curriculum.
Oh, that's right.
That was
That's
the bulk of our discussion, just getting them up to standards, to the modern standards, and including those for ACTFL, which is the Association of Connecticut Foreign Languages. So that was the bulk of the meeting. We heard it. It was outlined by the teacher who wrote it, and it was sort of it was forwarded to the board for approval.
Right. Thank you,
And
Phil. It's so
Liz-
nice to have you have my back. Kat?
Liz, if you want to make a more complete report or minutes, you could probably say them next time we have a regular meeting.
That's fine. And we'll, because Dr. Piazza took the minutes that night. I think what I'm going to have to do is take my own as well. So I'm ready for this.
All right, finance and facilities, Mr. Chairman Whiteloff.
Yes, so finance and facilities did not meet in January since we've been doing the budget workshops. However, we are scheduled to meet, I believe, on February 7th.
Thank you. Rita, do you have anything from negotiations?
No negotiations at this time. And I can report on Learn. The CFO, Mike Belden, presented the fiscal state of the agency. And also the executive director, Kate Erickson, did an onboarding presentation for all new board members that were elected in November. And that's about it. So we'll just move on.
Oh, I'll be presenting in February. So I look forward to
Oh,
February.
well, I find
board.
that out Friday. We have our executive committee meeting.
I'll be there with you, Rita.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, town council RTMBOE did not meet. Did AGSA GEA BOE meet?
We were
No,
supposed to meet this week, but we have few people that can't attend that should attend. So we're going to postpone it till we can get everybody there.
You know, this has been, we haven't met all year. I think whether there are people that could be there or not, we need to do this. So that's just my 2 cents. So I think it's extremely important that we find a time since we have not met.
Joyce is on it. She's going to work on it, but she did want to make sure that the board chair and the
Right, I
GEA
understand.
chair were able to be there. So,
Yes, that's great. Thank you.
okay.
Okay, Liz, has Groton Scholarship has not met? You're muted.
Sorry about that. No, I haven't. I was wondering if do I contact them or do they contact me?
We'll get that information too. I'll check with the past liaison.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Lee.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Lee.
Okay.
I can find out too.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Jay, has Athletic Fields met?
No, they haven't met in a few months, just waiting for some decisions to be made about Gloucester.
Okay, thank you. And Mrs. Ackerman, you have not had a meeting with the military families?
It'll be in April.
Okay, Cabe, I have nothing to report for that. Dean, do you know when the next meeting of the Long-Term Recovery Committee is?
Do I know? I do not.
Okay, I can
I
find
don't
that
think
out.
it's been set, or I know that they reached out. John Burt had reached out to me. He hasn't figured out a date and time yet.
Okay, so when you know that, you'll let Dean know.
Yeah, I can let you know.
Thank you. Okay, Jay, would you like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Yes, I move that we accept the consent agenda. And a thank you to the Knights of Columbus for the $500 donated to the Transition Academy.
Thank you. Those in favor?
Kat,
Yes.
there are a couple of corrections in the minutes.
Okay, if you could
Would you
pass
like,
this.
given the time frame, would that be okay to share them with you afterwards? So we don't.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Pat, we need a second for that motion.
Yes. Will anyone
I'll
make a
second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we vote on the motion without the corrections?
Are they
I
just
don't think they're
grammatical?
substantive in nature. They're mainly housekeeping.
Liz.
Yeah, I just wanted to, before we vote on the acceptance of all of this,
Yes.
I would like to direct everybody to the January 18th, 2022, 7 p.m. remote meeting minutes.
Yes.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't believe we voted at the very end. It says motion to adjourn was Washington and Ackerman. And then I think we just all went off, but I do not believe that we had a vote that it was to have the motion pass. And therefore, I think this is incorrect.
Okay, what we'll do with that is we will ask Joan to check on that. And then if it is, oh gosh, okay. We'll have Joan check on that. If there, right now, I think we'll leave that out and then just include it in the next consent agenda. Is that acceptable, Joan?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have not completed the motion. Everyone say aye to accept the consent agenda, please.
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain?
I
One
abstain.
abstain.
I abstain.
Deb abstains. Great.
And
Matthew as
Matthew.
well.
Matthew as well. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Ackerman, could you please read the next motion?
No,
Okay.
I never
Alright.
read out loud.
Okay, Dean, could you please make the next motion?
All right, move to approve the 2022-2023 school calendar.
Those in favor of the motion, or I need a second, please. Matthew seconds. Is there any discussion? No.
Susan, I'm still waiting to get the AP test scores that I think in December when we talked about the school calendar and somebody wanted school to start earlier because of the AP and IB program. And I asked about getting the test scores.
Well, I
that-
would say that the past couple years with COVID, you're going to see probably a trend of a dip because of COVID-19. We certainly can present to you, but I don't think at this time that's going to make a bit of difference because we actually want our children to have the most instruction for all the different assessments, whether they're in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 12th grade.
Okay, so Susan, what I'll do is I will put that on my Susan list.
We can put that as a future topic to review those things.
Okay, great.
Okay,
There's
that's
also
good.
SAT
Thank
and
you.
PSAT, but I'd like to gather the information from this year to help inform us for the future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any
Madam
further
Chair?
Yes.
I've got a question. If we
Go ahead.
adopt this calendar now, are we allowed to modify it later?
It can always be brought back to the table.
Okay,
I think we did that a couple times with the last calendar, as a matter of fact.
just want to make sure it's not one of these ironclad things. Okay,
No,
No, the only thing ironclad is that it's 180 days.
thank you.
that's it. And then I
Okay.
see Jay's hand up,
I'm
Katrina.
sorry, Jay.
I just want to make a quick comment for those who may be watching at home that we did discuss this thoroughly at the last full board meeting and at a committee of the whole. So it's not as though we're just rubber stamping. We have had 2 full discussions of this prior.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor of
Kat, you froze.
Mhm.
Okay, parliamentarians, what happens now if our chair has frozen? There she is.
She's coming
I'm
back
gonna
on.
turn my camera off. That might help. Sorry about that. Okay, all in favor of the acceptance of 2022-23 school calendar, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstaining.
I'm abstaining.
Rita's abstaining. Okay, thank you, Rita.
Okay.
All right, new business. Matthew, could you please make the motion 1C1 to accept the school project?
I move that we accept the Cutler School project known as Mystic River Magnet School as complete. So moved.
Second,
Second. Liz.
of the school building committee or permanent school building committee, Mr. LaFrance, Austin LaFrance, would you like to say anything?
Only if you guys have a question. The one thing that I will say is we did receive letters from the Director of Public Works last week indicating that they saw that the 2 schools, both Cutler project and West Side project, were substantially complete, and they recommended that they be turned over to the Board of Ed. At our meeting last Thursday, my committee concurred with that assessment, and so you now have the 2 motions before you. I'm here just to say that I'm very pleased with the work that's been done on all 3 of the schools, including the middle school. It's the first time I've had a chance to talk with all of you. We did something absolutely amazing in COVID by getting them done, much less besides the fact that they're all well under budget at this point. So
That's right. And we can't thank you enough. The work that you and the committee have done in our amazing schools is just a beautiful thing. It was called the Groton 2020 and we did it during COVID. Thank you.
it took a lot of people, and
It took a team and a lot of volunteer work. Thank you.
but you guys get to see it a lot more than I do, and hopefully it will be here for many years to come. I know I've heard some very good things about from the faculty up there. Everybody likes to have something new, but things seem to be working well. And I'm just here in case you had any questions about the the remaining punch list or anything like that. Otherwise, I'm just here to say thank you for letting us give you up 2 schools.
Thank you. Mr. Norris, do you have anything to add? Mr. Norris, do you have anything to add? No. Mrs. Ackerman?
I just want to say that in the beginning of this project, I attended many of the permanent building committee's meetings. And I just want to thank the committee and to commend them for the hard work and thorough work that they did.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be sure to bring that back to my committee members.
Mr. Antos, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The acceptance, if we vote to accept, what effect does that have on our ability to continue to work on any on unfinished work, any punch list items? I'm sorry.
It'll have no impact whatsoever.
Okay.
The work will continue. Work will continue. It will be overseen by Department of Public Works, unless it's stuff that Sam is specifically dealing with. This is more a case of making sure that we've taken it out of the hands of the Department of Public Works in the town and put it under your jurisdiction so that you can run it the way you see fit.
Okay, thank you.
I see Rick Norris too. And Rick, a thank you goes out to you. You have been by our side through this whole journey and communicating with Sam and the whole team. And
as Bob has said, we are under budget on these things. You know, the total project, since we never have an opportunity, this is my final meeting to work with you folks. So I'll have to say goodbye and thank you all for your support as we went through this project. The point of contact now, instead of me, will be the Director of Public Works. So things that rise to his level or things that are technical or project oriented, program oriented, contract oriented, will have to go to him. As Bob said, we are under budget. We are doing Cutler, I believe, first, or Mystic River. We are under budget, you know, like two and a half million, almost, yeah, a little over 2.5 million there, and a little over 3.5 million at the other 2 schools. Overall project totals, we've come in, including the 4 million that was to purchase property, a whopping $15 million under budget on those schools. And as to echo Bob's LaFrance's comments, walking through the schools, you know, I'm not sure that I heard any negative from any of the teachers. You know, they were all, I think, very appreciative. They have some wonderful spaces to work from. And certainly your support as the Board of Ed through Sam, basically, and I've talked to Susan on occasion, or Mike Grenier prior to her, who was really appreciated as we move forward with these projects. So again, like Bob, I've seen them finished, but it's up to you folks to enjoy them now. And it looks like they've made them their home. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, would any, so those in favor of accepting?
He still has his hand up.
Please.
And I have a question too, Katrina.
So I just wanted to say thank you also to Rick Norris and Permanent School Building Committee. That includes Principal Jamie Giordano, who I know was on there. And also to of course, Sam Kilpatrick, who now will be responsible for these buildings. I do have a question about, did the replacement of the floor tiles work out?
Yes, the floor tiles have been completed. We looked at that. Sam has more details if you'd like them at a later date, but we looked at failures in some areas. Basically, a decision was made that we couldn't trust what was there. So we ended up replacing everything. And to be open, also doing that, I think was tremendous to our contractors and the working staff they had there.
And replacing the ovens was pretty important too.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had to go to the expert and go to Ernie and say, what do you recommend for an oven? And we got a better oven for a cheaper price and it works. So
Good.
I
Good.
told the architect next time use that oven, don't go somewhere
Check with
else.
Ernie.
I also just wanted to make sure that by taking these votes tonight, I just want to clarify that this will not prevent the town council from appropriating money for any other positions.
Yes, again, Jay, it will not, but
Okay.
again, it has to be approved by the bonding attorney as structural, either coming from the educational specs or that sort of thing.
Right. Understood.
I as a citizen look at things a little bit differently, but I'll leave that for another day.
Okay, thank you.
Beverly Washington has her hand raised. I don't know if you see that, Katrina.
Thank you, Superintendent Austin. I was just wondering what still needs to be done in the schools?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the whole question.
What still needs to be done in the schools?
The punch list is there's a minor punch list. There's about 30 some items at West Side, maybe twice that many at Cutler. They're basically, some of them are really housekeeping items like touch-up paint, checking some of the door closures, the weather stripping maybe on a few of the doors, those sorts of things. The other significant work that shows up on the letters, if you will, or the signs need to be completed at both schools. And site work in the spring, if there's any trees that need to be replaced or grass, and we know grass at both schools in some areas need to be reseeded and maybe weeded or something. So it's those kind of things. And it's basically things that you would do if you moved into a new house. It's kind of those things that just need to be finished up, and they are very minor in most cases, except for those two major items.
Rick, do you have an idea when that's going to be completed, other than the outside work?
No, we're working on a schedule. We're expecting in the next couple of weeks that they'd have the majority of that done.
I'd point out that none of it impacts the ability to create an educational space or to utilize any of the spaces that are there at the moment.
And if I might add too, that I met with Rick and the building committee about a week ago, have gone over the punch list and feel very comfortable in accepting these projects as complete. The punch list are items that can be taken care of over the next few weeks without interfering with the school operations. And if I could also express my gratitude to both Bob Austin LaFrance and his committee and Rick Norris, who have really gone above and beyond many times throughout this process. These last couple of years, they have really been terrific in supporting what the ed specs and looking very carefully and supporting these buildings and the project in keeping in mind what they're going to provide for the community, for the staff, and for the students. And I am immensely appreciative of their work. Thank you once again.
All right, any other questions? Okay, those in favor of accepting the Cutler School project, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Great, thank you. Opposed? Abstain. Thank you. Mrs. Porter, could you please make the motion to accept the West Side project?
Absolutely. Motion to accept the West Side School project, now known as Thames River Magnet School, as complete.
Thank
I'll
you.
second that.
Thank you. Those in favor? No, sorry, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstaining? Thank you.
Congratulations, folks.
Yep.
You got yourself 2 new
Thanks, Bob.
schools.
Thank you.
3 new schools in
Well,
2
Yes, that's
years.
right.
That's
True
quite a
enough.
feat.
And soon solar panels. So go.
And soon solar panels. And I think the community will be really thrilled with that.
Thank you again for all your support during the projects. It was tremendous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you
Okay,
all.
Mr. Schulman.
I will leave you
Thank
now
you.
to your meeting.
Thank you.
Bye, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Gotta get
Schulman,
this
could you
fucking word
please
in
make
there.
a motion to approve the paraprofessional union's 1-year contract? Do we need to go into executive session for this?
I don't know.
Susan, or
I think Lori
No.
Lapine is on here. Lori? Can you speak up about this? I think that,
Yeah, I believe if, my suggestion would be is if the board would like to have discussion, I think it should go into executive session. If you're just looking to vote, then I think you could just do that in public session.
thanks. Does
So I'll leave
anyone
it to-
have questions about this? Does anyone have questions about the contract? Seeing none. I would like to make could someone, no, I'm lost. Susan, what do I do now?
Was there a motion?
I think someone needs to state the motion.
Mr. Schulman, could you restate the motion?
I'll be glad to make the motion.
Thank you.
I move that the Board of Education approve the paraprofessional union's 1-year contract extension for the period July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those in
Second
favor?
that. I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Abstentions?
I'm abstaining simply because I was not involved in any discussion. I'm glad we're
Thank
doing
you.
it, but I wasn't involved.
I'm abstaining too, because I was same as Matt.
Okay, Matthew and Bev abstaining. Okay, it is now 7:02. I would like to just remind everyone again that our budget workshop was posted to begin at 6:45. Okay, Mrs. Volkman, would you please make the motion to approve the field trip request?
To approve the field trip request to the robotics regional competition in West Palm Beach, Florida, scheduled from March 2nd, 2022 through March 6th, 2022. So moved.
And I believe that we have Principal Keller here to speak to this competition,
Yeah,
which,
we received this in our packets
yeah,
also.
you did receive it. So if you have
Yes.
any questions, he's here to speak to it.
Well, they're
Do we
late.
have a- who
Well,
gave-
they
who
actually
made-
came in, I have to say, in December, but because of COVID and getting the information to the central office, it just took a little while. So they were actually technically 3 months. So,
So that should have been, that could have been noted, the date that this was submitted,
mhm.
because accordingly, it's
Wait a
out of
second.
date, it's 2 months. But I had a question is that I know the principal, there is 3 school days they will be missing, 3 full
Excuse
school days.
Excuse me, I didn't get a second.
Oh, we didn't get a second.
No, we
I'll,
didn't.
I'll
Motion.
second. I'll second.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
maybe Principal Keller could just like let us know if, missing 3 full days of school, this is not during a vacation, what you think about that.
Well, I think it's an important competition for them. And, you know, I think that this is I mean, this group works extremely hard, you know, often multiple days a week, building the robots, testing the robots. And this is their chance to really show off their work. And it's something where this group, more than any, I think that there is a lot of academic skills that they learn within this program. So I think that, yes, I understand that there is a loss of instructional days, but I do believe that this is something that is very much beneficial to those students that are involved. And I think it's a great opportunity for them to not only showcase the program, but showcase our school. So I do did approve this trip, and you know, unfortunately they can't control the dates of the competitions. It's not something they you know but most of the other competitions that they are entering are during weekends and actually once during a school holiday where they're going to miss almost their entire April break going to a competition. So they're very dedicated to this, and you know, I think it's worth recognizing the hard work that they do put into this.
And Principal Kelleher, you said it was a small group of about 5 students that would be involved, and they were going to be able to have their work, you know, through Schoology, so that they wouldn't have anything interrupted.
Yeah, this particular event is about 12 to 15 students out of the 40, I think, are completely all involved. And there's about the same amount of mentors. That it's almost a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't think it's exactly a 1-to-1 ratio, but it's pretty close. And the and yes, the kids would obviously, knowing when the trip is, they'll be able to prepare for that and be ready to go and get any schoolwork that they need. And then teachers are all posting it online anyway, so they'd be able to do it while they're at the competition if they had the time to do that then. So yes, they would have ample time to get the schoolwork done.
So there are some benefits to this whole remote learning thing.
Not many, but there's some, yeah.
There's some.
Beverly has her hand up, Pat.
I'm used to doing that. Beverly?
Thank you, Liz.
No problem, Bev.
I was wondering, what when you doing competitions out of state, what's the criteria for choosing a particular competition?
That's an interesting question. I don't know exactly all the criteria, but generally it's they need to participate in a certain number of competitions in order to qualify for the different like regional and national events. One of the criteria is our robotics team is very good. They are very, very good. And they want to compete against teams that are, you know, equal to them. And that can be tough to find. They're, you know, so it's something where they do look for competitions where they're getting a good level of competition. You know, and many of the competitions are very local, but they will travel and often do travel. So, but I don't know all the rules and regulations on how many competitions and so on, but I do know that they do pick, you know, a certain level of competition so that they are competing against the people they feel is going to give them a good competition.
I know that we've opened up our robotics team to both Grosso Tech and to the marine science schools that don't have that kind of, and it's another partnership, you know, where our kids will be able to go to Grosso Tech to complete, you know, some trade credit. This is a way that we can kind of give back. And I think the principal at Grosso Tech was thrilled to be able to have that. So it really is, and they do some wonderful community work where they provide camps for some of our younger students in the summertime. So I really feel good that they selected, most of their competition is outside the school day. This is the only one that we found that was during the school week. And I know that they've been true about making sure kids are able to complete the work that they would have had in school and would get help if they needed it.
Is there a cost to the school district for this trip?
No, not at
No.
all, because the robotics club itself provides the funding. So it's not a cost to us at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Good
Sounds like a
question.
great trip.
Yeah.
Matthew, you have a
Yes,
question?
Mr. Kelleher, I'm excited and I'm hoping that if it's appropriate, you'll send regular video and still feeds to Rebecca Bayes so we can share this glory. Win, lose, or draw, the kids are going to do a great job, and let us support them and promote it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll reach out to the group and make sure that they're sending us some visuals and results.
Thanks.
Mr. Antipas, you have a question?
Yeah, it's more of a comment. It's really to address the issue of loss of instructional days. From what I understand of the program, if you look at the various tasks the kids are involved in, how they have to organize themselves and the work that they do, you can make a very credible argument that the robotics club and the activities of the club are instructional in and of themselves. For some kids, especially those kids, I almost can't even think of a better way to teach them. So they're not missing anything at all. And no disrespect to sports teams going away, but it's a very, very wide field, not just technical, but they also have other things that they engage in that are non-technical, that are activities in the club. So it is learning.
Well, like our music competitions and our band competitions, I think they have their own area of instruction that kids really need. So you're right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ackerman.
I just want to add to that quickly, and that is, having worked with students who are interested in this sort of thing, I can tell you that they themselves push themselves to make sure that they get what they need to do for the classroom.
That's
and
right.
I can assure you, having been in the classroom, that all teachers will go that extra step to make sure that they're accommodated.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Rita, did you have a question?
I didn't have a question. I had a comment. I have been a very strong supporter of the robotics team since its inception, but I did notice at the end of their travel details, I wanted to make a suggestion to them. They're talking about flying out of Hartford, Providence, Boston, New York, so forth and so on to West Palm. There's a new airlines that flies directly from New Haven to West Palm. So I'd highly recommend them looking at it. It's AVELO, Avelo. I flew on it a week or so ago to Fort Lauderdale. Very inexpensive, and it would be a great way for the kids to travel where it's convenient. You drive up, you park, you walk in, and that's it. So I would just like to make that suggestion when they
wrote it down, Ted. We'll talk.
Yeah. When they want to book their flights, that's the way to go. It's very
What a great
simple.
idea. Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.
Well, I was going to suggest to the board, since this one is West Palm Beach, I'm happy to go with them if you need me to. So, I just,
They already have their chaperones. They listed them.
Read it here.
Well, good luck. Thank you. Do we
Any
have
other
to vote?
questions?
Did we need a motion on this?
Yeah,
We have the motion. We need a vote.
Sorry, I was muted. All those in favor of approving this field trip request by the robotics team to Palm Beach, Florida in March, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain. Thank you. Mrs. Washington, could you please make the next motion? Number 5, approving the Facebook page.
I make a motion to approve creation of a GPS Facebook page.
Thank you. Second? Who will second that?
I'll second it.
Liz seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the creation of the Facebook page, please say aye. No? Anyone opposed?
Opposed.
I am also.
Any abstaining? Rita
One.
and Andrea opposed?
Abstaining.
Anyone else?
Abstaining.
Matthew abstaining,
Liz abstaining.
Liz abstaining.
So then-
Beverly abstaining.
Okay, so that does not pass.
Done.
5-4.
Well, if I might, a point of order, you don't count the abstentions. The motion passes when a majority of those present and voting vote in favor of something. So
Thank
if
you for
everybody, for
that.
example, if everybody abstained except for 3 people and 2 voted yes and 1 voted against, the motion would pass.
Thank you.
So Dean, did this pass?
I didn't keep tally. How many of us are there and who voted yes and who abstained?
There are 8 board members, and forgive me, but you went so fast, I didn't get all of you.
Okay, so I
Okay,
guess,
let's start again.
Who said
So-
yes?
I
In
said
favor,
yes.
please say aye. I have Jay, I have Dean,
I say aye now.
and I have Beverly.
and what about
Those
yourself?
oppo- Oh, I say yes, sorry.
Okay,
Those opposed were
Just me.
Mrs. Ackerman and Rita, and
So then
the-
it passes 4-2.
that passes. Thank you. I wanna
clarification,
remind-
it did pass, yes?
It did pass, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just couldn't hear.
No worries. Okay, I'd like to remind everyone it is 7:15. Before we move on to information and proposals, I want to note that Counselor Bordelon in the chat noted that the Long-Term Recovery Committee is scheduled to meet February 16th at 5:30 PM.
We'll
Someone-
add that. I'll have Joyce add that to our list.
Thank you, Susan.
Mhm.
Okay, letters and communication. Jay?
Yes, I've received a couple of emails from parents concerning the high school marching band budget. And I explained that comes through the site budget. And I've referred that to the superintendent.
Bev? Do you have any communications?
Yeah, it's the same as Jay. And I also had a communication with a member of the community that would like the board to consider naming one of the libraries in the 2 new elementary schools after Dr. James Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, his whole career has been in Groton Public Schools, and he was I think he was the director of pupil personnel. He was the deputy superintendent, assistant superintendent, and then he became a superintendent. He was the president, as Andrea knows, of the Martin Luther King Foundation Scholarship. And he's on the board of directors at L&M Hospital. But that's all his outside stuff. But his whole career was in the Groton Public Schools, and they would like to see one of the libraries in one of the elementary schools named after him. They'd like the board to consider doing that.
Thank you, Beverly.
Okay.
If that
Also, on February the 1st is starting Black History Month, and the town is having a Black History Month flag raising at Town Hall. It's going to start at 3:30, and they will have a short program, and everyone is invited to that event on February the 1st, Town Hall, 3:30, an event commemorating Black History Month.
We actually have students who will be attending from both the Black Student Union and More Than Words Committee. So, and we'll be providing a bus to get the kids there and get home. So we're very excited about that.
Thank you for mentioning that, Bev. Matthew, do you have any communications?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Ackerman, do you have any?
I do have a communication. I've gotten 2 emails from an individual, and I'm not sure how to refer to this because I don't think it's within my jurisdiction to do this, what the request is. So I'm not even sure who to refer it to. So
You want to refer it to me to see how I can help you?
perhaps, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Liz, do you have any communications?
Yeah, I do. I just, I had a parent reach out to me and just wanted to thank the middle school teachers, especially whoever's doing coding with their up at the middle school, and how much this has really enriched their child's life, and just really is very pleased with what's happening at the middle school and wanted me to extend their gratitude. But the coding has really helped. This is a 6th grader, and suddenly we like going to school, and it's like very important for us to celebrate those types of achievements. So I just wanted to put this out, and kudos to whoever's doing coding. The parent did not tell me who it was.
I know,
but,
so I'll pass that on to
please do,
Principal
because
Bass and his team. I'd be happy
it's
to.
really important.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Engage them first.
So thank you very much,
Liz. Rita, do you have any communications?
Well, I wanted to mention, I also received the parent Fitch Music Department budget concerns and about the dire need of some new drumline equipment, which is basically sounds like they're falling apart. So I would like to direct that to Principal Keller and the superintendent, and hopefully that will be rectified.
We've already got a plan.
Perfect. Thank you.
I already heard the news and we've looked at the budget and he's already got it figured out.
They'll be very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you for passing that information to us.
Yeah, and I also wanted to mention about the Martin Luther King ecumenical service that I thought was extremely moving, and as always, but I'm looking forward to going to in person maybe next year when they have it again.
I'll pass that on. Thank you.
I think everyone had a turn. I will go next. I received 2 emails and I passed those on to Susan because I was not sure what information was available. And one thing I'd like to share, I participate in the food share program that the United Way does with the city. That is the last Friday of every month, if anyone is in need of that. And I think that'll be it. Thank you. Okay, our last thing is any.
Can I say something, please? I had my hand up, I think. The Dr. Mitchell request that I made, does that have to be referred somewhere, Dr. Austin?
Susan, would you
I think we can bring that. We actually have a policy on naming, so I think we bring that into the naming committee, like we've done in the past, and I'd be happy to forward that and bring that up.
Thank you, because I don't want it to say it and then it gets lost.
I know. Well, I wrote it down, Bev, so it won't be lost.
Beverly, it will not be lost.
It will not be lost. We love that man.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Dean, I neglected to call on you. Do you have any comments or questions? Or concerns?
Ordinarily, I guess I'd have something to say, but I have to offer my apologies. I've been some close calls with my mother last couple of weeks, and so I've been inattentive.
Understandable.
You've been attending to things that are priorities, Dean.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Thank you for that, Dean. And again, it's understandable. Okay, our last item on the agenda are suggested agenda items. Does anyone have anything to request being on an agenda? I'm going to check participant hands so I don't miss Beth. She has something.
Are you looking for a motion? Are you
I
looking
do
for a
not
motion to
share
adjourn?
anything. So,
Kat,
Mrs. Ackerman,
We're having a hard
Mrs.
time
Ackerman,
hearing you,
could you please
Katrina.
adjourn us?
yeah. Katrina, are you looking for a motion to
Would
adjourn?
Mrs. Ackerman like to make a motion?
Yes.
to adjourn? Who is seconding that?
Matt
Matthew.
Schulman.
Okay. Thank you. We will adjourn.
Nope, you gotta
and-
take a vote.
Oh my gosh. So glad you're there. Those for adjourning, those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay,
So the regular
That's done.
meeting is done.
yes. I
We just stay
would
here?
like, excuse me?
Do we just stay right here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to take a 3-minute break, so that'll bring us back at 7:28. We're gonna start at 7:28. Thank you. Okay, we have a quorum without them, so
Right.
I'm sorry. Liz, you're here?
Yeah, I'm here. I just needed to go get my tea.
Okay, we will
Started.
start the meeting. Bev, are you here? Okay, we're gonna go ahead. I'm sure she'll be here in just a second. So I want to call this special meeting, budget workshop to order at 7:29. And I'm going to hand it off to Ken or Susan. Is Susan back?
I am.
There she is.
So we thought we could squeeze in another budget workshop after the other. And we've actually gone back to analyze the course enrollment, and we're looking at the second semester now to predict for the next year's. We are also trying to increase our numbers in AP and IB. The principal has a pretty strategic plan, so I'd like him to share that with you. At the next budget hearing, we'll try to put that in the beginning of the meeting. I'm really excited about it. But I would like to say that really we're going to finish up secondary and then do some of the other pieces before we also tackle special education. So we're going to refer to the section P536, which is on teachers' aides, and I'll have Ken explain a little bit about how this is kind of a miscellaneous section and how this goes.
Yeah, and I'll put it up on the screen, go through the 2 pages and then bring it down so we can all see each other in the boxes here. So let's share the, all right, hopefully you can see that. That's page 5-36. This is the unclassified function 1119. There is one FTE in here. It's for a teacher aide at the high school. So this section is it's a grouping of costs that aren't attributable to the major programs at the high school and the middle school. Some of the expenses include non-secretarial support, contractual severance payments to teachers, health insurance benefits for retired employees, employee assistance program, and unemployment compensation payments. In addition, the building substitute teacher charges for those 2 schools are also allocated here. And then school supplies as well for the 2 schools. That isn't
Mostly for the offices, is that, Ken?
It'd be supplies that aren't attributable necessarily to one of the major programs. So it could be just paper,
office kind
costs
of
that are
supplies.
just annual that need to be replenished.
Okay.
So on 5-37, right, 5-37, yep. These are the costs. So you see the cost of that one aid. Also line 120 is the building substitutes for the two secondary schools. Group insurance, this is mainly the group insurance for our retired employees, OPEB in particular. You'll notice line 222, retirement award. This is severance, contractual severance payments to teachers. Unemployment compensation. This is the amount we pay into the unemployment compensation with the state. There is some repair of equipment that's not attributable to any of the programs. Some no travel for field trips, that is not in here. General classroom supplies, you see that 63,000. That's for both schools, the middle school and the high school. And then $1,000 in computer supplies. And under equipment, the increase is for a Mac portable lab for use with multimedia classes at the middle school.
And that's under Principal Bass's actual site budget with a 2% increase. Is that right?
That's correct, yes. So overall for this group, it's an increase of 568 or 41% increase. It looks like this is being driven by the group insurance amount, which does need to be reallocated. But OPEB is playing a big part in that number.
And we've done a good job with OPEB. I think that when we first found out about it, we didn't even know about it. And then we started paying contributions towards it. And we've done a pretty good job in the few years that we've known about it. And we'll continue to be good stewards of that money, I think. You know, we've really committed to paying back the health savings account and the OPEB when there are those extra resources for us. So, you know, it's one of those things that we want to continue to do. I see Jay's hand up and Liz.
Jay?
Yes, Ken, I know that you're constrained somewhat by the generally accepted accounting practices in creating these reports and charts of accounts, but is it possible to create a separate function for retirement so that we're not pooling active expenses for buildings and some active employees with the retirement? Is there some way to break that out separately?
Yeah, I don't see why not, to be honest. Yeah, let me work on that.
Good suggestion.
And I think to Rita's point, last week, I know there were some areas where the benefits appeared to go down. I'm assuming the corresponding increases are just mapped to the wrong accounts and are falling in here.
It's a combination, yeah. So we allocated out the amount to be for health insurance, and the allocation doesn't seem to be working appropriately in this for that line. In total, it's still appropriate. It's just within all the functions, something didn't work correctly. So I have fixed it, but I am hesitating to send out new pages because I think we need to get through this group, and then we can have new pages to replace the ones that are affected.
Okay, thank you.
Kat, it's Liz. I think I was next. Yeah, I just wanted to say, Jay, and I must be reading Jay's mind because that's exactly what my question was, or very similar. So you don't need to talk to me right now.
Bev, you had a question? Your hand is raised, Bev.
Line, can you explain line 202 again for me? Not 202, 201. Who is this group insurance for? I'm kind of confused on this page. It seems like it's a hodgepodge of a lot of
It is a
different things,
hodgepodge,
and it's
Deb.
very confusing.
It's a miscellaneous page. I said the same thing.
But line 201 is it's the cost that we pay for OPEB. OPEB is a post-employment benefits. Yeah, so it's amounts that we pay into a reserve to pay for benefits that retirees are getting. And so what gets charged into here is exactly that. It's amounts to pay into the OPEB reserve.
And do you pay it? You pay into this every year?
Yes.
And
we do now that we know about it.
Okay. And this is for health insurance?
Correct.
And how long after retirement do the teachers receive health insurance?
Well, it depends. It depends on their age at retirement. And then in addition to teachers, there is some staff as well that some that have grandfathered into this group that we pay for.
I see Lori's hand is raised. Maybe she can contribute to this because I know we're moving many of our teachers to Medicare. And so we won't be dealing with this.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, to add on to the comments about OPEB. It's always been a liability of the district. We do have to reserve for the obligation that we have outstanding for retirees on the health plan. So it's something that we do have always had to account for. Just we had some time ago, the reserve fund was in arrears. So we've been spending some time making sure that we are meeting our obligations. So we've been chipping away at it. The liability is much more substantial than what we have in reserve, but we've been chipping away, trying to assist that process because it was operating in the red for quite some time, I think, when I first got here. So we've been monitoring that very closely. There are a number of teachers who have who are Medicare eligible who tend to go to the TRB plan. Mm-hmm. And we've also offered what we call a fully insured health plan for our retirees. And I'll try to give the short version of this. The district currently holds a self-funded health plan for our employees, which means we pay the claims. By moving retirees to a fully insured insurance product, that has moved some of that liability out of OPEB and onto the insurance company. So there's been an offering to put retirees onto a fully insured product wherever we could to help ease some of that burden on an ongoing basis. So I just wanted to share that for the benefit of the group.
And Lori,
you've had good success with that too, Lori, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, we have. We've had a number of people move. Sorry, Beverly, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Is the increase due to more retirees? Is that why you have an increase?
No, there was an actuarial change in the way that they handle the liability over the last year, so it increased our obligation. Ken, I don't know if you want to share anything additional to that comment, but I know you were involved in that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and just so you know, it's a combined fund with the town, and there is an annual report that gets produced, which tells us what our contribution to the fund needs to be, and that's what we base our numbers on.
Thank you very much.
Rita?
Yes.
I think you're next.
Yes. My question is, I have two actually. One is line 222 retirement award. Why was it the year before we had 0 and we've always had retirement rewards? So why would you have funded it as 0? Is that a mistake?
No, so we made a conscious decision that year. We had funds available in the current year, so the previous year, to pay those severance payments in essence early, and so that's what we did to try and get that budget number to the right place. So that's why we paid those early that year.
So are you projecting, I mean, it's almost double from this past year till next year, 90,000. Are we expecting a lot of people to retire?
Yes, we currently have six retirees, and we estimate those at $15,000 apiece. So that's what drives that $90,000 number.
Okay. My other question is that the substitute line 120, and that just number just is so over the top to me. And I just want to know, how can we bring this number down where there are not so many? I mean, hopefully next year if COVID is finally behind us or decreasing, that we won't have this problem of having to have so many substitutes. I mean, it really hurts our students when the teachers aren't there teaching in their classrooms. And it's something we've brought up often with the teachers union, and that's why it's so important to meet with the AGSA and the GEA, because in contract negotiations, I really feel we need to get a handle on substitutes. The cost is more expensive every year. I read yesterday in Sunday's paper, I think some districts are paying up to $180 a day for substitutes and permanent subs, that is, and we're probably doing that also.
No,
not that much for permanent subs. Okay, but we still need to somehow have a discussion with our teachers, and we need to have more teachers in the classroom and not substitutes. It's not the same. It hurts the students. So somehow we need to get a handle on this. I just wanted to bring it up because that was the line we were on.
Thank you.
That's it.
We agree. And we look forward to the end of this COVID where our teachers have been sick and had to be out. So
good.
You're right.
I don't see any hands up in the chat. Would anyone else like to ask a question? Okay, we'll move on.
I did have a question.
Function 1260 on page.
My question is, do we have to post this?
Sorry, Rita.
Do we need to have Ken share the screen, or can we, since we all have our budget books, are we doing this for the general public? Is there anybody else on here? Or
there are a lot of other people on here.
Then you need
so
to.
I think it is valuable to have them be able to see what you're seeing.
Right, that's fine. Thank you.
Are we ready to move on to page 52, 552?
Actually, the next page will be 5-38.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you, Ken.
Yep. All right, I'm going to put it up. 5-38. This is function 1121. This is business education for grades 9 through 12. We have 3 teachers at Fitch High School. And then on 5-39 is the costs. We did have we replaced a teacher, so you'll notice that actually there's a decrease in the classroom teacher expense. And then the expenses, the travel and the materials and dues are all the same as last year's budget.
And I'd just like to bring it to the board's attention. This is where we have personal finance and IB personal finance. So this is an area at the high school where we really focus on that. But personal finance is also taught within the math curriculum as well. So I just wanted to point that out. This is an area that we think is really important for students, this business section. And there's a lot of students who participate in this program.
Okay, I do not see any hands raised. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question before we move on? Liz?
Yeah, it's Liz.
Liz?
Susan,
Liz?
do you see this as an area that needs to be, we need to prepare for an increase? Because personal finance really is something that needs to be really, I think, and to be explored as having students graduate from high school with a, understanding of personal finance, and not all students get this. So
Well, they all get it within their math curriculum.
Oh, all
And
right.
Especially in middle school. It's a real life learning experience with middle school math. But I think that for now we're all set, but there could be an increase in the future. But right now, this is really providing what we need.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly, you had a question? Beverly.
Just a comment. I agree with Liz. I just wanted to say I agree with Liz. I believe that personal finance is very important. I don't know how much of it they do get in their math class and how in depth they go into personal finance. So if there ever is an opportunity to expand upon that, I would be in favor of that.
I agree. As a middle school math teacher, I absolutely agree. I surrounded my life with real life application, and it was a lot about real life and personal finance. So we'll continue to ensure that in the curriculum, and we can get back to the board about how we're aiming to provide this for all kids.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
Absolutely.
I'm not really adding anything, but I am bound to relate that my kids have found personal finance education in the school one of the most valuable things that they've gone through. A lot of the material that as adults we would think of as perfectly natural, and why wouldn't they know this stuff? It's all new and all wonderful to them, and they can't imagine not having gone through it.
Good. Thank you.
Bev, your hand is still up. Did you have another question? Bev, your hand is still up. Do you have another question?
My other question, I'll find out when we get the breakdown of class sizes, how many sections of personal finance are offered at the high school.
Great,
absolutely.
thank you.
We'll make sure that happens.
Susan? Okay, any other questions before we move on?
I just had a comment. I thought that all freshmen at Fitch had personal finance as part of the as part of the freshman program.
The freshman academic seminar does include that too. I think just trying to put it together for you, like in all the different elements from elementary school to middle school to high school, I think would be important to share with the board.
Okay, looks like we can move on.
Okay. Next section is on page 5-40. This is function 1124, health occupations for grades 9 through 12. One teacher at the high school, and this is for offerings for diversified health and nursing assistance. Down on 5-41, expenses. So we have an increase in the classroom teachers. I believe we're using a substitute in this class, a long-term substitute in this class for this year, but we do plan to have that filled for next year. And then looks like an increase of $35 under general classroom supplies, but other than that, expenses are about the same as last year's budget.
Matthew?
Ken, is this the IB health occupations track that this refers to, or is that something else?
It's one of the career pathways, and it could be linked with the International Baccalaureate Careers Program as well, so they could get a certification in IB. But it's definitely one of our mainstay careers, and we're looking to build it. We've gotten a STEM careers grant that has health as really one of the focus points. So we know that we have to turn away so many students to this, that this grant and our operations will help support it so that more students can participate.
Thank you.
Deb, you have your hand raised? Deb, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. It takes me a minute because I have to unmute. I apologize for the delay. Susan or Ken, excuse me, I'm eating at the same time. Did the classroom teacher get a $15,000 raise? Or am I reading it wrong? I could be reading it wrong.
So we had to replace that position last year, and the estimate for a teacher in that position is the 66,000. We don't actually have a teacher in that position, I believe, at this point. We're working with a long-term substitute at this point.
Who has all the qualifications, but I think is there a savings in that or is there an increase in that?
Looks like an increase.
Yeah.
It looks like a $15,000 increase.
Yeah, we had estimated to replace that position for this year at the $51,000. We did not find that person, so we are increasing that estimate for next year to 66.
Which is not a top step teacher. So it's harder when you have these very specific credentials that you need to find someone who's a beginning step teacher. So this brings us up a little more competitive, right?
Okay, thank you all.
Rita?
I wanted to know, isn't this a CNN program that we've always had?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, so it's career pathway and is the $2,000 for the state test so that they pass them and they're certified as CNN?
That's right.
Yeah,
we had a long-standing teacher here and she retired. And so it's been very hard to replace, but we have had a couple people who met the credentials and it's been really supporting us in between.
Yeah, it's a great program. Thank you.
It is a great program. And we want to grow it for our kids.
Any other questions before we move on? Then Ken?
Yes.
Does that complete secondary, Ken?
It does complete secondary. Yeah.
And we can also go back to it too. We've got some revisions we're making and some enrollment projections we'll give you. But I think moving on to enrichment is an important thing. Enrichment, remedial, summer school, there's no cost because of our ESSER, and then the library media specialist.
Yeah. So I'll put, let me put enrichment up on the screen here. So this is 5-52. That's the page we've moved on to. This is function 1260. This is enrichment for through K through 8. So before and after school enrichment. And it says runs 3 times a year, 1 hour, 8 weeks per session. So that's how we calculate the cost of the classroom teacher based upon Schedule C. So the cost for FY23 would be $36,822 and the corresponding payroll taxes. So there is a 2.4% increase in this function.
Any questions? All right. I guess.
I have one. I have one.
I'm sorry.
Susan, is this program the type of program that will help us close the achievement gap?
Absolutely. This is a program I've been a believer in. And in every district I've been in, I've created these kind of programs before and after school. I would say the addition with our ESSER funds is that we've been able to increase these programs and even offer them during the day. So it's kind of the light bulb effect for kids. Like these are things that they can sign up to do, that they're curious to do, that cause this engagement in education. And it was the basis of all of our summer school programming. So I'm a real believer that not only remedial services, but enrichment services need to happen for kids.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, Ken. You
All
can
right,
move ahead.
so on to 5-54. This is remedial instruction that Susan was alluding to just now. Function 1270. This is a classroom teachers. You can see them outlined for the different schools.
These are our specialists and interventionists in both math and ELA. This is one of the areas I'm probably most proud of that I have seen over my 40-year career has made such a significant difference, and especially in closing an achievement gap, giving kids just what they need, additional instruction to the core. Thank you for letting me speak up because I'm passionate about this one.
In addition, there are some remedial services at the high school that are offered through tutors that are under function 1220, which I think we'll talk about next budget session.
And I think we have tutors through all of our grants too in elementary, middle school, and high school.
Correct. And then 5-55, I believe this is, hold on. Yep, this is the cost for classroom teachers. There is an increase of 51,180. That's a 2% increase. That's per contract. And then the corresponding benefits increase. So for remedial instruction, an increase over last year's budget of 56,282 or 1.9%.
And that's keeping the same number without adding anybody. Right, Ken?
I see Beverly
Correct.
has her hand raised. Beverly?
Susan, how do you go about determining how many teachers are in each school? Is it based on needs, or is it based on population? How do you go about determining that?
So it really is based on kind of the enrollment and the needs. It's kind of a ratio proportion of caseloads that we look at, and we re-examine every year, kind of similarly to what we do in special education. So we're fortunate to have about 3 to 4 interventionists in each of our schools with literacy and mathematics. So, and in the high school, we've added a literacy specialist and a math specialist or interventionist in the high school. And we have 2 of each in the middle school at this time. Our teachers also serve to give extra instruction as well. So our teachers also differentiate in the core, and they also give additional intervention.
Can you, Susan, can you tell me exactly what does the specialist do? What does the interventionist do?
Well, so we have a specialist in literacy and math in all the elementaries, and they do intervention, enrichment, and they also coach teachers. And this has been instrumental in being able to leverage our Teachers College program and sustain it over the years, and also for reading and writing, and also our mathematics program. So it's really provided coaching and intervention, and the interventionists work together with the specialist and the principal in making sure that students have their tiered instruction, their core instruction, and then their extra support in tier 2 and tier 3. This is something I'd love to share with the whole board. Like it's very intricate, but it's really well designed, and it continues to grow and flourish as we continue to develop it.
Do they pull the students out of the classroom, or do they work in the classroom?
We're doing much more in the classroom, Beverly. We're doing much more within the classroom, and whether we're having reading groups, and you might have a teacher doing a reading group, and you might have an interventionist doing a reading group, or a specialist. So we're trying to provide it much more in the classroom. There's some specialized programs in some of our tier 3 that might need to be pulled out, but they get put back right in. So they might have 30 minutes out, but they'll be back in the classroom. And it's an additional 30 minutes to their core instruction.
Okay. And how are you measuring success with using this
We just keep monitoring kids' progress, and we do regular Fontes and Bunnell reading assessments. We do regular writing assessments and mathematics assessments to make sure that kids are making progress.
Okay. Thank you, Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Liz, you had a question?
Yeah, Susan, in terms of the number of teachers, I noticed that the Mystic River and Thames River had 5.5 each. And then for proposed 22, 23, it went 6 and 5. Were at this year, were they sharing a teacher, like half, they would be at the one school half the time and another school the other time? But now that you're just going to consolidate, am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, but I will check on that, Liz.
Okay.
I thought they had equal numbers, so I just need to check to make sure that we've got the percentages right. But we did need an increase of 0.5 to 1 full person in those larger schools. Those larger schools can hold as many as 600 students. Right now, they're in the mid 500s, and most of our other schools are 300 to 400.
And see, that's why my question is because Mystic River has increased to a full, but the Thames River decreased by a half. And that's
I'll look back at that with Ken. Thank you for bringing that up to our attention.
Okay, the other question I have is do you see this as a program that has really supported our blue ribbon status?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind, and I've seen it from my New Canaan days back in 1980 something.
Well, I just thought it was important that we state that, you know, because this is one of the reasons.
Absolutely. It's probably one of the most significant differences I've seen in my career.
Okay, thank you.
And the coaching component, along with the support component to the classroom teacher. And all the professional learning that has happened.
Matthew?
Could you help me, either Phil or Susan, understand the differential skill sets between an interventionist and a tutor?
So a tutor is a college graduate. They may have specialized certifications. They may be a retired teacher, and we're very fortunate to have some very qualified tutors. But a tutor actually is under the direction of a specialist. So the specialist not only coaches teachers, but they also coach tutors, and they really put together a program with a principal to support their student population. And we have this sophisticated SRBI, scientifically research-based intervention program that I would be really happy to share with the board. We've shared it in the past, but we have some new board members, so it would be good to share it again.
Thank you.
Lori?
Thank you, Ken. I just wanted to answer the question. I just wanted to answer the question on library media. The reason why it's showing the changes it does in the FTE headcount is because when we consolidated the 3 schools down to 2, there was just staff movement amongst the schools. That's why Mystic River and Thames River look unusual with the FTE changes. And also we do have one that is sharing between the 2 schools.
Where is this?
Oh, that's further
Mystic
down.
River and Thames River.
That's further down. We're not there yet, Lori.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
We'll go back to that, though. I'll get you an answer.
Dean?
I first want to
Dean, you have a
thank,
question?
I first want to thank Beverly for bringing up all the points I was going to bring up. But I have one other question, and that is, if it hasn't already been asked, how does the district determine which kids need this type of intervention? What are the criteria? And I realize there's more than one, but give us an example of how you'd say, okay, you probably ought to go to one of the 4 people we've got at this elementary school for for help, for intervention, et cetera.
So it's quite an intricate process, and it's a district-wide process, and then school by school also supports this process. So we are meeting in what you might remember as a child study team. We're meeting at grade levels, we're meeting across grade levels, we're meeting with specialists and determining who is having struggles. And because we're monitoring their data along the way, how they're reading, how they're writing, how they're handling their math understanding, we're able to see who's really not there yet and needs a little extra support. From a little extra support to a lot more support. It might not be yet a special education need, but it's a need in regular education. And we call this tiered intervention. So tier 1 is, I'm in a core instruction with my classroom teacher, but I need a little more differentiation because I'm still struggling. Tier 2 is, I need a little more help. I need maybe another reading group. Tier 3 is, I need a lot more help, but I'm not yet identified as special education, but I might need a specialized program like a Wilson reading program. So I know that's just a quick synopsis. It would take me, at least a COW to bring in some of my experts to really explain this. But it's really a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. Like who needs a little more, a lot more, and especially more in case, so we can avoid some special education costs. I'd like to be able to fix these things early on and right away for our students in the classroom, if that makes any sense, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of these areas. I mean, it's a large, expensive course, and there's no question that kids learn very unevenly. And it is the big question is, how does the district do? How are the kids doing? And is this program actually doing the job, and how do we measure that? As I sit here, I have no idea. I have to take your word for it as a professional that in fact this does what it's advertised to do.
And I think it does avoid further cost in special education if we can help our students in their regular classroom. So that's really a goal.
Bev, I still see your hand up. Do you have an additional question?
Yes, I do. Susan, I think it was the last meeting where we talked about the middle years program, and it's going to be open to all students. And I asked about what kind of support some of those students would get since we're opening it up to all students. Would that support for those students come under this function, or do you have a different plan?
No, that's thank you, Beverly. That's the plan. And Jamal Davis has been quite instrumental in helping the district and helping the middle school with this process. But that's exactly right.
Are there any more questions before we move on? Okay, Ken, you're up.
All right, 5-62, we're on to 5-62. This is summer school, function 1412. Now, the cost for summer school has been funded. It was funded for this year and planned for next year through the ESSER 2 and the ARP ESSER grants. So if we go to the cost page, you'll see the zeros. We did have costs in there last year. That was for summer of 2020, before those grants were available. But those will be funding 22 and 23. So there's really no cost to report on here.
Questions?
Just a comment, Kat, just a comment. I just want to remind everybody that grants go away. So we need to make sure, we have to keep this in the back of our mind for sustainability. So just wanted to say that out front. Grants do go away.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz. That was a good comment you made. And what was the cost of this program before you funded it with grants?
The cost in 2020 was 44,782. But I think that was a little, because that was during COVID, I think that was a little higher than normal. I believe we had budgeted $20,000 in that function in the past. But then we'll have to figure out post-COVID what that number should be. But we spent 44,000 last year.
Any more questions?
Just one more, if I may, Ken. I guess all of the administrators, do you see this program being sufficiently productive in moving kids along academically and emotionally that we would want to expand the numbers? Or what has COVID taught us?
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a Susan question, or perhaps Phil.
Well, I could just speak to this summer, since it's the first one I've seen. And again, I think it's related to what you were just saying about COVID. I think it was extremely necessary in terms of balancing, not only moving kids ahead forward in their learning, but also for the social emotional piece of being able to interact with their peers. They only had a couple of months of that really last year. So I thought it was tremendously successful when I went around visiting the schools, and the kids were really enjoying just being with their classmates again, even though they were still following all the protocols for COVID, wearing masks and staying, safe distances apart. They were able to make the learning more fun and get the kids into it. And the kids, at least from what we saw a lot of the science lessons, Susan, if I remember correctly. And as they were just being interactive and being, in the hallways and outside, putting the science into practice. I think it was incredibly necessary and successful in terms of moving the learning forward in a fun and active way, as well as the social emotional piece, which again is so important these days. It's nice to say, I was just talking to the teachers today, and I said it's nice to say you deserve a break, just go home and do other things besides academics, but you really can't do that. There has to be a piece where the kids' learning is moving forward, especially after these last couple of years. I think it's really vital.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Last call for questions.
I have
Okay,
one more. I have one more question. Even though this program is a fee-based program, the fees don't cover the total cost of the program, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's correct. Of course, there was no fee I don't believe there was a fee in 2020, nor was there a fee this past summer, nor is there going to be a fee next summer. Perhaps when we're back to more normal times, we'll reinstitute the fee. But you're right, this is the cost over and above what we collected.
And I would say that our ESSER and ARP ESSER has certainly supported us with this. So that we haven't had that. We've been able to do credit recovery. We've been able to do enrichment so kids could get ahead. And all of that has been taken care of through this. And we've designed summer camps too, to make it even more engaging.
And when you do have a fee, does it go on a sliding scale? Or everybody pays the same fee?
Yeah, we absolutely take care of that, Beverly, that way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Final call for questions. Ken, you're up.
All right, this is the last slide for tonight. This is 5-84. This is function 2220, educational media services, K through 12. So here are the media specialists for the schools, as well as we have an LTA at both the high school and middle school, and our video technician and assistant video technician are under this function. There is a 1.0 FTE media specialist that's split between the two river schools that is funded by the ESSER and ARP ESSER grants. And on 585, here are the costs. There is a 0.7% increase under salaries and wages, 0.8% increase under employee benefits. There is a $1,200 increase to library books, about a $300 decrease to periodicals. So it's a 3% increase on the supplies. Overall for this function, an increase over last year's budget of $8,887 or 0.8%.
Liz?
Yeah, Lori, is this where you're supposed to tell us something? Could you do that again, please?
Yes, I was just commenting about the split library media specialist. I said library earlier, but I meant remedial. I think it's a similar issue with the remedial staff earlier. When we allocated from 3 schools down to 2, I think that's why you're seeing the shift in the FTEs in the other section.
I think really because we have the same number of, we have the 3 schools turning into 2, but we have the same number of students as we had in the 3.
Correct.
So we had to take care of their needs.
Thank you.
I see Jay's hand.
Yeah, just wondering if Ken, could you repeat what is
What is your question?
could you just repeat what you mentioned about what is currently being funded through ARP ESSER for this function? In other words, what's in that budget versus this one?
Well, for this function, there is a library media specialist that's split between Mystic and Thames River.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. Because I remember last year there being a concern that given the size of these elementary schools that there was a shortage there. So that's something I think we need to keep in the back of our mind for when the ARP ESSER grants are gone, to go back and really judge whether we do have the proper staffing for the larger schools.
Yeah, when we initially did the consolidation, we thought we could reduce the number of library media specialists, but I think it was during the budget season last year that we determined we needed to have that additional one, and we had the ESSER 2 available to us at that point.
Yeah, I think there are times when we say, we're going to be able to save money because we've consolidated, but when the number of students is basically the same, we still need to make sure we're supporting them. So it's just a bookmark for next year.
All right, last call for questions. Okay, I want to thank everybody between my technology issues and being a newbie for your patience. Mrs. Ackerman, would you like to adjourn us to January 31st? You're muted, Mrs. Ackerman.
Motion to adjourn.
Do you adjourn or do you recess?
No, adjourn.
We
Second.
adjourn to
Second.
January
Different.
Thank you.
Other times we used to just not adjourn.
Thank
We
you.
used to, but
Right, yeah, because we
have to
never
have
used
a
to
vote.
adjourn.
Wait a
because
minute.
It's still a budget meeting.
it's still a
But
budget
whatever you do
meeting.
now is fine.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I looked in Robert's scrolls and this is the correct way to do it. Thank you.
Yeah, we
So
gotta
we're-
fix your technology.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, you need.
Did you take a vote?
You have to take a vote
I'm
then.
gonna go see,
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, who's second? Thank you.
Matthew.
Say good night, Gracie.
No, say all
Good
those
night,
in
Gracie.
favor.
All
Aye.
in favor.
Oh, I
Aye.
thought we did that.
all in favor.
Good night, everybody.
Opposed?